say the names, but you know the names. If I mention them, we'll be announcing it over the course of the next few months, and some other HBCUs as well. During the pandemic, if I didn't have enough to do then, we saw a disparity in access to connectivity to the internet. And I believe personally and professionally that one of the greatest gifts you can give anybody is the gift of access. Access to opportunity, access to resources, access to information. And unfortunately, our community, as we know, has always lacked access. We're always left behind, right? And so one of the things we saw, exactly. So one of the things we saw as a developer, as we're dealing with all sorts of contracts and vendors, one of the things that we started looking at was internet connectivity and how on one block that seems to be wealthier and wider, they have fiber, they have gigabit access, and they're paying less than what the block across the street or down the road is paying that's poorer and blacker. And we figured out a way to basically deploy fiber internet 60% less the cost of what the Verizon's, AT&T's, and so on charge. And as a result, I'm not going to get into the science of all that, but anyway, we figured that out. We raised some money from Citibank.
From our financial partners.
It's politics. I don't know who's in the room. So we raised some money from Citibank, Kevin Durant's one of our investors, and a few other venture capital funds around this idea of expanding internet access to minority and underserved communities, particularly here in New York. First, we partnered with the New York City Housing Authority. We did about 6,000 units our first year, and a third of the people who signed on with us in NYCHA in Lower East Side, it was their first time ever having home broadband, ever. They couldn't afford it. So in communities like Brownsville, where 44% of the households lack home broadband access, which is actually the largest in all of Brooklyn. The largest disparity in Brooklyn exists in Brownsville when it comes to internet connectivity. Almost a third of the households in Brownsville have to depend on internet data plans to get connected, which limits their ability for remote work, telehealth, virtual education. So how do we fix that? And so since starting in 2020, we just passed 87,000 homes in 23 cities with a focus on expanding internet access in these communities like Brownsville. And so we partnered with Governor Hochul this year to expand our fiber network specifically to affordable housing units across the state: Buffalo, Rochester, Manhattan, Brooklyn, Bronx, and Brownsville. In Brooklyn, roughly $17 million that we're investing both from public grants and also our own capital to expand. So I end with this, one of the things that we did.
End with the name of the government.
I should end with the name of the government. That's a good idea.